Well, hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerSchool.com and DougRuckerStore.com. And I was out on a job this week on a commercial job. Forgot to do my little opening that I normally do from the job site. So I'm here in the office and just got a couple of tips and tricks again on a commercial job that I just want to kind of help you guys out with. So stay tuned for that. This will be a little bit shorter one, won't be too long, but just a couple of tips and tricks and things that I saw that I thought might could help you guys. So stay tuned for that next. Okay, guys. So on this commercial job, we're cleaning this rather large metal building. We're cleaning the sidewalks as well as the parking spots that are closest to the building. There's also quite a bit of limestone split face block that we're cleaning, that decorative block that's very porous and can get very dirty. So had a couple of tips and tricks on that I wanted to show you. Also, we cleaned a bunch of columns, just all kinds of things. But some metal that was really dirty, and just kind of wanted to go over our method of cleaning that and the reason we had to do it that way. So I'll get started with some of that here right now. We had quite a bit of this split face stone block. A lot of people call it limestone, decorative block, whatever you want to call it. And so it's pretty dirty, heavy mildew buildup on it. And so what I like to use when I'm doing this, especially with plants around, although a lot of these plants were dead from our recent ice storm and freeze that we had and all, I use what's called the adjustable cone nozzle. And the adjustable cone nozzle, what it basically does is take your dedicated pump, your soft wash pump, and turns it back into a pump up sprayer. So you can mist your strong. I had to use about a 50% bleach mix on this, but it allows you to mist your mix onto surfaces, so it's not bouncing off the wall, it's not flooding down the wall, and getting into the plants. I wasn't as worried because most of the plants are dead, but there still were some live ones that I didn't want to have any effect on. So you can take and put an extension wand like this, but it's basically a nozzle that runs about $15, and I'll put a video to another or a link to another video that I've done on the adjustable cone nozzle up above in the card. But it's just a great tool to have in your toolbox, just to give you some control in areas where you need to have control so that you're not hurting your bleach mix. You want to be careful if you're going to use this on a 12 volt. I'm using this on our KINGSLINGER air diaphragm soft wash system. But a 12 volt, you have to be careful because sometimes if you use it a lot for a certain period, it could overheat the pump because it would cause it to overcycle quite a bit. But air systems or boosters or gas operated, you should not have a problem with. But we've got these. They sell for about $15. I always tell everybody to get a couple of them because the plastic on it, it's just a pump up sprayer tip that we've put onto a 1/4 inch plug so that you can spray off of your soft wash system with it. But the plastic in them sometimes will start cracking and going bad because of the bleach mix. But it's just a great tool to have in a toolbox. And so that's what we used when we were coating the bleach mix onto this stone, so that we were able to control, not overuse our mix. So you don't ever have to flood the surface. You just need to get sometimes just a nice little mix coat on it and let the bleach do its work. So that's one tip. Another tip that you need to understand about bleach mixes is you don't have to flood a surface. I've been teaching this for years, especially in roof cleaning, that you don't have to flood the surface. Just get a nice little coat on there so that the oxygen and the air, the bleach and the surface can all work together. Hey guys, don't forget, if you're getting value out of this video Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so that you get notifications. That way, you'll always know when I'm coming out with new content that can possibly help you guys. And also give me a like and ask me a question, leave a comment if there's something that I didn't cover very well or need a little bit more explanation. Just hit me up with a question down below and I'll be sure to respond. I try to respond to all comments. So hit that subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell for notification, and leave me a question or a comment. Another thing that we had to clean was this really dirty metal. And so we, kind of went back and forth downstream it because it just had a lot of green, but I could also see some black in it. So we actually did try downstreaming this first, but I could tell it was going to take quite a few coats in order for this mildew and algae to change color. So we ended up going to the KINGSLINGER and using about a 30% mix on it. The KINGSLINGER is a 10 gallon per minute. We used an 0020 nozzle and had no problem actually reaching the top of this, and could even go a little bit higher than the top of it. But that's what we used to get all this metal clean because it was just going to be quite a bit faster to get that stronger mix on it. And then, of course, we just rinsed the ever-living heck out of it anytime you're using a strong bleach mix or really any bleach mix on metal. You want to make sure that you rinse it thoroughly. And when you think you've rinsed enough, I always say just rinse a little bit more. You don't want that bleach setting into the hardware, the screws and the fasteners and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you rinse it really well. And on metal also, you don't want your mix to dry. Thankfully, this was a cooler morning and was out in the, this area was in the shade. So we were able to, again, use the KINGSLINGER 0020 for our distance and about a 30% mix to get this back to beautiful white metal. Another thing I noticed when we were out here, when I was out here actually doing the quote, going over with the owner, I noticed this area of the concrete that was quite pitted and quite, kind of tore up. It wasn't like all the other concrete. And so after conversation with the owner, determined that there had been a car fire there, and that's why this concrete was in this type of condition. So just let him know that we would clean it the best that we could without causing further damage and further chipping or breaking away of the concrete. And so we were actually able to run our surface cleaner over it and clean it pretty good without causing any damage. But anytime you see something like this, it just looks a little off than the other areas. You always want to kind of inquire and talk about why is it like this, and then set their expectations for what you can do and what you can't do as far as getting it clean and absolve yourself or resolve yourself from any type of further damage that could be caused by your cleaning. Well, I hope these couple of tips have been helpful for you. Um, keep in mind, guys, I've got an online video school. If you're just starting your business, it'll drastically help you cut your learning curve. Just want to give you a few little before and after pictures here of the project. But any type of my training, I have hands-on training here in Houston, as well as the online video school. You can go to pressurecleaningschool.com and research that, see what I have to offer. You can always email me, pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com, or text me 281-883-3630. And then also don't forget DougRuckerStore.com. Any type of equipment, supplies, trailer builds, truck builds, whatever you need, we can help you out there too. But thank you guys for watching. Hope it's been helpful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. But most importantly, leave me a question or a comment because I just love helping you guys out. Y'all have an awesome rest of your day or evening, whatever it is. And we'll see you again next week for another 2 Tip Tuesday.